tough day, but given all you've been through with your players out and your schedule and all that sort of stuff, it was never going to be easy, I guess, was it?
Yeah, Rob, I think, look, that one caught up with us a little bit, what we've been through in the past few weeks. That's our third game in 6 days, 2 of those away from home, 10 or 11 NPL players in the squad. It's a product of circumstance and it's disappointing. Obviously it hurts a lot, but there'll be positives to take, especially for some of those younger guys. They learnt a lot of hard lessons tonight about what football's like at this level and travelling away from home and having to back up. And the inconsistency of youth, it shone through tonight. And let's not take anything away from Newcastle. They're a very good team, and at home this year they've been on the front foot, very attacking and very aggressive. And yeah, it was a difficult night for the young boys.
And how did it feel for you coming back here? You spent a lot of your life in Newcastle and captained the club here. How did it feel coming back as head coach?
Mate, mixed emotions. Obviously, like I'm wearing a different badge at the moment, but mate, I love this place. I love this stadium, and I love the Newcastle Jets as a club. I spent a lot of years there, and made a lot of good friendships and relationships with people in this community and in that club, and that part was nice. Obviously, always nice to come back, but bittersweet because on the end of a drumming tonight, and it was a little bit out of our control, to be honest. It was just it was a bridge too far.
And you said before Newcastle are a good team. They're ninth on the ladder now. Do you sort of see them featuring in the finals, or?
It's a tricky one for them because, again, like a lot of teams, the inconsistency of how the season is through COVID has made it difficult and unpredictable. I think on their day, they've shown, especially here at home, that they can give it to anyone in this comp. But it's a tough one to say. I haven't seen the end of their fixtures yet, but I would say they're a good chance for finals.
No worries, Ruben. Thanks for that.
Cheers.
On Zoom, guys.
Ruben, Joey Lynch here from AAP, mate. Commiserations. Just looking ahead now for the rest of the season, what's the club's goals? Is it just to get minutes into young legs? Do you have a points target in mind? What do you want to achieve throughout the rest of the season?
Look, that's a good question, mate. Obviously, the position we are on the ladder makes it difficult to take anything out of this season. But where, from my point of view and from the club's point of view, it's about looking at the squad that we have, and it's about analysing individuals and performances, and it's about building for the future. And so those young players, that are being exposed at the moment, there've been some massive positives from those guys. Obviously not so much tonight, and I think, like I say, that was a bridge too far for a lot of those young players. But it's not just about them. It's also some senior players. Watching the way they lead or respond in through adversity, for me, is a big thing. And there were some positives there tonight. I thought a guy like Clisby, who's played every minute of every game. I think we've had 5 games in 15 days, 3 of those away from home, and yet in the second half, 4-0 down, he's still bombing forward over the top of people and talking and giving everything he's got for the club. So that's a massive ask of what we're asking some of these senior boys to do with this young group. So it's about building for the future, based around the right people and the ones that put their hand up. And so, yes, there'll be some young ones that definitely get blooded at the end of this season, and they'll grow and build, through the adversity, and they'll learn a lot of hard lessons really quickly. So we'll take as much as we can, from every game, and it's all about building for next year, mate, to be honest.
And obviously at this point of the season, mate, your dressing room looks more like a casualty ward than a football dressing room. But any new additions to the injury list tonight? Do you expect anybody coming back for your next game?
No one coming back for our next game, I don't think. Ozzy Malik got subbed on, and he's gone into a tackle, fully committed. Again, another senior player. I think there's 5 of them, in the squad at the moment that you would call senior players at this level. He's thrown himself into a tackle again, scores maybe 5 or 6-1 when he comes on, and it looks like he's picked up an injury out of that. So, like I keep saying, when it rains it pours. But he might be a casualty from tonight, and that would leave us with 4 senior players. But what I really like is, I think of those 5 players, 3 of them have played every minute of those 5 games in the last 15 days. You've got guys in that dressing room really angry and hurting, and yet they're still coaching the younger players themselves. There's people like Liam Reddy that are picking people up, lifting people's chins and reminding them, about our recovery protocols and just setting the standards of what we want to achieve next year. And that's something I'm real big on. The standards, I don't think we're great, and we're trying to lift those bit by bit. And so, yeah, like I say, there's a lot to take out of, tonight, and there were a lot of negatives in the way we defended and the way, under fatigue, the bad decision making. But, they're lessons and they're things to grow from, and that'll be my focus, mate, for the rest of the season.
So anyone else, guys?
Yeah, just a couple if I can.
Yeah.
Ruben, most of the questions have been asked, but travel, what was the travel effects on some of those young guys? Because they would never have done that before.
No, that's right. I mean, we had young Jaden Gorman make his debut tonight, and we showed them the pictures of what to expect here from Newcastle at home. I know firsthand what it's like when the crowd get involved and when the Newcastle Army get behind their team. And he's trained a handful of times with our A-League setup. He's come straight out of the NPL. I've pulled him out of the NPL. He's a good example of someone this is his first away trip, first game at this level. It's a massive ask, and I was super proud of his effort, super proud of some of the good positive moments that he brought to the game. But obviously, like a lot of moments where he's been found out, and like those other young guys, that travel's really difficult, being away from home. Some of them travelling for the first time. I think the big difference, the big point that I want to make is, if you look at how we were three days ago against Victory, 3 or 4 days ago against Victory at home, we've had 60% possession, had 611 passes, so they're 450 odd. Created a lot of half openings, played really well under pressure, and those young ones at home with their support, a little bit more comfortable, us on the front foot, they were quite exceptional. I thought tonight it's a whole different that's a whole different learning curve, away from home, facing adversity, no support, crowd against you, team on the front foot playing for finals, and you could see the difference in their demeanour of my young boys. Some of them, their shoulders, instead of being out and shoulders back, chest out, it was almost slumping, like, oh, this is difficult. And it was interesting to watch, to be honest, frustrating at times. I've lost my voice trying to coach them and be with them in the trenches. And I'm super proud of, a lot of guys' efforts, but I'm also bitterly disappointed with their decision-making tonight. And even though, it's a young and inexperienced squad, I still expect, a better standard of of decision making under pressure. So we'll review it. We'll look at the game, and we'll build again.